Happening once again, a small dip in XRP's price means many in the retail crowd panic. Well, guess what, guys? We are seeing accumulation from the big money, the smart money, those whales out there going all in on XRP. I want to show you the on-chain data proof, what's going on. But speaking of all in, guys, that is exactly what JP Morgan Chase is doing with cryptocurrency. As here today, we have official word that they're joining forces with Coinbase. And so CEO Jamie Dimon, for years calling us all scammers and fraudsters, going all in on crypto as he has this idea of do as I say, not as I do. I want to show you exactly what's happening. I wanted to show you a clip from Brad Garlinghouse showing why XRP is essential. I want to talk to you about what something David Schwarz, CTO of Ripple, just said hours ago that shows why XRP is essential as we see this entire digital revolution move faster than it ever has in history. And also, guys, I want to talk to you here at the end about the price. A lot to put out. I think you're going to love it, guys. All I ask is if you do like talking about XRP, click that like button. Make sure you stay till the end on this one because we do have a lot of information. Now, I want to first start with this Coinbase and JP Morgan Chase partnership as they're joining forces. We're partnering with JP Morgan Chase, this is what Coinbase put out, to offer 3 new ways for their 80 million plus customers to participate in crypto with Coinbase. The ability to transfer Chase Ultimate Rewards to USDC, the ability to use Chase credit cards to fund your Coinbase account, and a new direct bank integration. And so recently I talked about how Coinbase, if you were to look at them as a bank with assets under management, which is about $500 billion, they would be the 21st biggest bank in the United States. And so what JP Morgan has essentially said, and doing this partnership and proving that if you can't beat them, join them. Because they've felt the threat for a long time and they've seen that the end is near. Well, now the end is here. We're seeing the bridge between DeFi and TradFi, and it's never been more clear. Now, I want to show you this clip. It's an older clip from Brad Garlinghouse talking about JPM coin, right? And how these banks, guys, they're all going to have their own stablecoin. We've already heard from CEO Bank of America, Citigroup, Morgan Stanley. They've all talked about embracing this technology, cryptocurrency and stablecoins, but they're not going to be swapping back and forth. There's going to be, with those stablecoins, there's going to be a necessary need for a neutral bridge asset like XRP. Now, I'm going to show you this clip from Brad, and then we're going to get into what David Schwarz said here just hours ago to Andre Jink, who just put out a viral video on Ripple and XRP. Check out Brad's clip first.
It is interesting you say that because you look at, JP Morgan, where you had Dimon saying that he thinks Bitcoin is
a fraud. And then he launched a coin.
Yeah. And it sort of reminds me a little bit of PayPal's journey too, the sort of contentious relationship with banks and the credit card rails. So are you seeing this shift happen? And again, where is this 5 years from now? Are you able to exist in a world where the JPM coin exists and other banks have their own forms of cryptocurrencies?
Look, the JPM coin, I think, actually, in many ways, has been great for the industry because, someone who not that long ago was saying Bitcoin's a fraud is now leaning in, and it was a macro good thing for the industry and bringing credibility. I'll give it a thumbs up. The JPM coin, though, if you really think about it, and there's a lot of banks represented in this room, is Wells Fargo going to use the JPM coin? Probably not. Is B of A going to use the JPM coin? Probably not. And so are we all going to have a Wells Fargo coin and a B of A coin? And now what about the interoperability between these coins? The other thing that makes no sense to me, in order to get a JPM coin, you deposit $1 in a JPM account, so it's 1-to-1 backed in dollars, and you can only use it intra JPM's ledger. Why didn't I just use $1? I actually don't understand what problem that was solving.
I think you're illustrating why there's been a lot of skepticism in crypto and the blockchain right here. And it's not that people don't believe in it and that it has a very useful case. It's just that it hasn't picked up in a significant way when, Tim said, thought it might have changed the world by now. And Dan, are you surprised by that?
Now, guys, last night I noted that Andre Jink, who I did a video on yesterday, big YouTuber, right? Massive following, over 2.5 million subscribers, right? Put out a post. This was 9 hours ago. He goes, I know people are very opinionated about this, but I've been following XRP since 2014 and I still have not found the answers to these questions. Now, I'm going to put a link to this in the description so you guys can look through all of his questions, as well as how David Schwarz, CTO of Ripple, answered them perfectly, beautifully. But the most important one, or one of the most important ones that goes along with what we're talking about here, as XRP is needed to be a bridge currency for these stablecoins as we really see go forth, because there is a ton of FUD out there as people take a look at the stablecoin RLUSD and saying, well, this is going to phase out XRP. No. That's not the case. There'll be a lot of stablecoins out there, but there will be a need for a neutral bridge digital asset like XRP to bridge it all together. So stablecoins are extremely bullish for XRP. But one of his questions here, are bridge currencies still necessary when stablecoins will cover most pairs of the future? And this was David Schwarz, CTO of Ripple's response. If one stablecoin wins, then no. You would just use that stablecoin as a bridge currency because everyone would just have that one stablecoin. But I don't think one stablecoin can win for several reasons, he writes, including that a stablecoin can only be stable relative to one particular fiat currency and will always have jurisdiction ties. If we're in a multi-stablecoin world, it still makes sense to have a bridge asset that serves as a long tail of tokenized securities, loan portfolios, and so forth. So essentially saying, like, look, obviously we've heard it from the banks. We are already seeing all these big institutions saying that they're going to have their own stablecoin. So it's not just going to be a one stablecoin world, right? I think we can all agree there because every major institution has already told us. You know, what we're seeing on chain with stablecoins going absolutely parabolic, right? And so there will be that need for a bridge digital asset, a neutral bridge digital asset like XRP that's interoperable, that can work with different currencies and different stablecoins. Done. That is what is needed. Now, whale activity, guys. So in USD, this is over 362 million, right, was transferred from Uphold to an unknown wallet. These transfers tell us a lot. This is from Uphold off the exchange to an unknown wallet, likely putting it in cold storage, likely preparing for what is about to happen. And so an article surfaced here today that I'm going to also link in the description, talking about investors' accumulation goes through the roof. XRP has witnessed a dramatic surge in inflows over the past 3 days, with investors stacking up 163 million tokens worth approximately 519 million, according to Glassnode data. This is exactly what's happening. Small dips, retail spooks, a lot of new investors don't understand that there's a lot of manipulation in this market, and long-term investing always wins. Not financial advice, but it's worked for most of us out here in XRP, just simply holding, DCAing, and buying and going long-term on XRP is a winning strategy, because what we've seen is that's exactly what the whales are doing. They'll spook you out, right? Market manipulation. We've got market makers out there pulling away liquidity to scare out small retailers, small investors, scare them out of the pot as they prepare for the big things that we have coming. We talk about the ETFs and the billions of inflows coming. We talk about the Ripple and SEC appeal to be dropped soon. We're seeing here today, and I'm going to report later today what comes out of this report, 180-day report from the White House, but just a massive amount of things coming, with by the end of September likely getting clarity on the structure bill, the crypto structure bill. And so a lot going on, guys, a lot going on. Now is definitely not the time to panic. Now is the time to lock in my personal opinion. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section below, guys. We got a lot going on. JP Morgan saying, hey, we're going all in. Whale's going all in on XRP, and it just gets it's just getting to be a very, very obvious setup in what is about to happen for XRP. That's all I got for you for now. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section below, guys. Appreciate all your time and support, and we'll see you all in the next one.